I took 3 RC cars to fight in Sydney's Robot Royale, and what happened was absolute chaos. You're going to want to watch to the end with this one because it gets crazy. Combat robotics is exactly what it sounds like. People build remote control machines, put them in arena, and battle until one's knocked out. These robots will use weapons like spinners, lifters, grabbers, or even nothing at all to get a win. However, as you might guess, these robots are kind of expensive. That's what led me to make the cheapest combat robot possible, with just an RC car and a dustpan. And it sucks. RC cars just aren't built for this kind of punishment. The plastic's flimsy, the controllers suck, and they just can't go toe to toe with a real robot. But here's the idea. If one RC car is 35% as effective as a real robot, then why don't I just use 3? That's 105% effectiveness. But first, let's rewind. These are multi-bots, 2 or more robots that total up to the weight limit. In Australian ant weight, that's 150 grams, and the rules state that in order to lose, you have to have more than 50% of your robot's weight knocked out. That means that with multi-bots, you essentially give your team an extra life. When I was making this thing, I put the car I was using up on the Robot Royale Discord to ask if it would be breaking any rules. And Kush, one of the organizers, said it'd be a good multi-bot opportunity. So I decided to give it a shot. This is the Tornado Mini Stunt Car. Out of the box, it weighs 85 grams. But for my purposes, I'm going to need it to be under 50. So I got to work. I unscrewed the chassis, pulled off the back wheels, removed an extra gear for good measure, shaved down the tires, and cut a wedge out of a milk bottle. And after all that, I hit my goal of 50 grams. And then I built 2 more. But I can't drive them all at once. So I reached out on the Robot Royale Discord to ask if anyone wanted to join the team. Jordan from Obviously Robotics and Sammy from Team Circuit Breakers were down to do it. So with the team created, we just needed a name. And Sammy came up with the name, the 3 Musketeers. With the bots ready and the team locked in, I packed my bags and made the trip to Sydney for Robot Royale 3. When I got there was Jordan, but there was no Sammy. Thankfully, Jordan's girlfriend stepped in and got to drive one of the Musketeers. So we weighed in and drew our first opponent, Jordan's prototype kitbot. He let one of the spectators drive for some field testing. Could I hold up to the Musketeers? Let's find out.
3, 2, 1, fight! Woo! That's a good photo. I mean, you spin around with those. 30 seconds till the pit drops. Oh, one's done. Pit's going down in 5, well done, 4, 3, 2, 1. They've got to do a lot to make up the difference.
I got pretty unlucky with this fight, losing one of the robots in the middle of the match. But it does seem like we are actually making a difference. And when we push together, it proves that we've got some advantage. But unbeknownst to me, the next fight was going to be against a monster.
One of the multi-bots will stop moving. Hit in 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit. Two of the multi-bots are down.
At this point, I felt like it wasn't just luck. The robot had turned off in both the fights that it was in. So I decided to bench it. But that meant that I got an extra 50 grams to do something with. So with all my engineering genius, I hot glued some 3D printed parts randomly onto my robot, hoping that it would do something. And with my insane modifications done, my next fight was against Charge, a very unique kind of lifter bot. This was the driver's first time competing in an event, so if we were going to snag a win, this was our best bet.
Drivers ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1, fight! So again, with the multi-bot, if one bot gets knocked out, it's a knockout. Teamwork. One more minute left. Oh! Oh! 20 seconds left. Oh! 10 seconds. Oh! 3, 2, 1, and that's the match. Alright. So it's going to judge's decision. Damage, aggression, and control. Damage, none on either side. Aggression. I think half of Evil Pierre was kind of off in the corner, but I think Evil Pierre had more. Oh, no, what's it called? Two Musketeers. Two Musketeers had more aggression and control. I think the Musketeers have that too. Congratulations.
Finally, we got a win on the board. It was super nerve-wracking because I was constantly on edge due to the speed of the bots, but we did it. For some context, this is a round-robin match. This competition had 4 rounds to decide if you were getting into the final bracket. If I just get one more win, I could get in the Rumble to fight for my spot in the bracket. But here's the thing. From watching these fights, it might seem like I'm competing in a non-destructive league without any danger of actual, real, scary big weapons. But that's not exactly true. See, I was competing in a category called Plant, Plastic Ant Weight category, meaning that I was in competition with several scary spinners, and I'd just gotten lucky with the bots I'd faced up to this point. But as it turned out, my luck was about to come to an end.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, fight! That's enough. There we go.
And just like that, the Musketeers are out. We didn't have enough points to make the bracket rumble, So our run at Robot Royale 4 was over. When I got home, I went straight back to the drawing board. First, what actually worked? Matches where we were most effective were when all three of us worked together. Sounds simple, but these spots are really fast and hard to control. When we moved as a unit, pushing together, we could actually overwhelm people. I also realized we did have a sneaky advantage that almost no other team could use. If you pin a robot against the wall, the ref starts a 5-second countdown before you have to let go. That means that if one musketeer holds them in place, the other two have 5 seconds to line up the perfect shot to push them into the pit. But not everything worked. We had one bot shut off in every match it was in. After some digging, I found the problem. A loose power switch. When scraped across the floor, it would flick off mid-fight. Luckily, during our rumble, one of the big impacts actually snapped off the tip of the switch, making it harder to turn itself up. Still, I knew we needed some upgrades. Pushing matches always favor the heavier bot, so our strategy had to be lifting the wheels off the ground to stop them pushing back. So I designed some new attachments. My robot got the classic flat wedge to maximize leverage. Jordan kept an angled wedge cause why mess with success? And Sammy was our wild card, a huge dustpan style wedge. It's weaker structurally, but the sheer size would give us some more control in the arena. With the upgrades done, it's time for Robot Royale 4. As the event got closer, I realized I was in for way more than I bargained for. In the other comps I've been to, 22 competitors was the most I'd been in with. But this one had almost 40. This meant that the bracket would be stacked with dangerous robots. Our first opponent was Spinfu, a scary vertical spinner. Unfortunately, he wasn't ready in time, so we got a free point by forfeit. And you know, one of the things that I've learned running the Three Musketeers, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Because our next opponent was Jordan's Kitbot. Again. See, I bought my little brother one of Jordan's Kitbots to compete with. But this means that 3 of the 5 fights we'd had up to this point were just against Jordan's bots. Regardless, we loaded in, fight was on.
3, 2, 1, fight! Now you probably see the 3 musketeers and the teamwork is working its magic. 2 seconds, I'll let go. There you go. Stop moving. About 5 seconds, I'll get you knocked out. A lot of damage. 20 seconds to the pit. Move. Dead. 3, 2, 1. Right to the pit. You gave the hole. That's even harder. Push your opponent into the pit without going in yourself. So that is what stopping and starting.
This fight was brutal. You can't see it on the camera, but Sammy scoops me up and slams me so hard into the wall, it flicks off my power switch. And then later in the match, Zipper comes in and slams me back against the wall, essentially reviving me. However, he'd already been counted out, so I couldn't really do anything. After I died though, I knew that if Jordan and Sammy just stuck together, we could pull through. But then, both of them got flipped over, making it nearly impossible to drive right. Jordan, upside down and disoriented, pressed the wrong button and drove straight into the pit. But it wasn't over yet. If we won this round robin fight, we'd make it into the bracket to have a shot at the trophy. And our next opponent was Subdivide.
He has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture. human trafficking or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideas. He trades blood for money.
A hammer saw from James at Broken Link Robotics that had been wrecking bots in the open class. Before the event, James posted a video of Subdivide destroying a robot. I commented, "Damn, are we seeing Plant Subdivide?" And James said this: "Little did I know it was about to come true." At this point, I loaded them in and said my goodbyes to the Three Musketeers.
Alright, are we ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, fight!
Even though we didn't win, this was still an amazing fight. Somehow, James's weapon instantly broke and snapped after the first hit. You can see it hits Sammy, sends him flying, and then hits the floor and then instantly breaks off. But even without a weapon, James is an insane driver, so he cleaned us up pretty quickly. But at this point, we were just where we ended last event. We only had 1 point, and there was no way we were getting into the bracket. Except something happened. See, remember how I said this was the biggest event I'd went to? Well, this event had so many bots that instead of an 8-bot bracket, this time we had a 16-bot bracket. But there weren't enough competitors with 2 points to fill the bracket, so the organizers announced a 4-way rumble. All the one-run robots in one fight, winner gets into the bracket. And suddenly, the Musketeers had a shot. Our rumble opponents: Adel, a bot bits flipper kit; Working Title, a plastic drum spinner; and Migu, a ring spinner. I surmised that the drum spinner would be the real threat, because it could easily separate us and juggle us around for the match. So our plan was simple: survive, score some control points, and take the win. We lose here, and it's all over.
3, 2, 1, fight! That's it. Transmit is off. Alright, so 2 robots out of the 4 went into the pit. Out of the others left, I think in terms of control and aggression, the 3 musketeers.
This was the fight where we truly took advantage of having 3 robots. We harassed the drum spinner, we pushed the flipper into the pit, and racked up enough points to get the win. And now we're into the bracket. Our first match was against Doorhinge, a flipper that had been dangerous the whole competition. Here's something about this matchup. You might have noticed, but when we fought a flipper, they have a huge advantage, as they can both flip us over and disorient us, and if they're smart enough, grab us. So for this match, we would just have to avoid getting grabbed.
Save the spike from 3, 2, 1, go.
And that was it. Doorhinge was a tough matchup. Sammy kept getting flipped and disoriented, and that flipper was way too fast. And the design made it almost impossible for us to get underneath. And the quick grab to drop me in the pit was pretty hard to fight back against. So what do we learn? We learned that every event we've entered, we finished 1 place higher than the last.
If these trends continue, hey!
In all seriousness, this was an awesome experiment. I'm pretty sure this is the first 3-robot multibot in the 150 gram class, at least in Australia. So it was a blast to try it. And maybe the Musketeers will be back. If you're thinking of starting in combat robotics, maybe start somewhere else. Still, it's an amazing sport. If this sounds like your kind of thing, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.